What is going on, collective? We're going to get into a reading on our divine masculine and divine feminines today. I already have some cards. Let's go ahead and start us off with some deep breaths. It has been what felt like sitting in the deepest of our subconscious this whole week for me. Coming out of it is what it feels like. Okay, I'm doing this 44 on a Saturday. Coming out of it, okay, feeling the need to get into our divine masculines and divine feminines. This came up for me this morning. All right, heavy emphasis on abundance. I feel like this is our divine masculines' heavy initiation, heavy and even deeper healing release for our divine masculines. You know, they've been in deep understanding, and I'm following the rhythm here. I did also clean before I got into this reading. A sense of it is like a feeling of coming out of like a coma, like you've been asleep, right? Kind of slow, deeper breaths, shallow even, 2 and 2, okay. For our divine masculines, it's been a heavy initiation, 2-2-2. And no, it has not been okay for our divine masculines. Like, it feels like, right, you're having to shield yourself. Because this time around, you're really yearning for something new. For some of you divine masculines, this is something you've been working on. This might have not also been the road that you thought you were going to be okay with. I'm speaking to a divine masculine here. You were not somebody, 333. You never really talked about, maybe at one point you did in the past where you thought about having your own family, but of just recently, for our divine masculines, it's like you want this now. You want to make fresh, new changes in your life, and that includes you building something and having your own family. That has been 414. Where you have been with yourself and your healing, this is very much something that you have kept up with. This is the change that you want, divine masculine. Maybe it's even harder for our divine masculines, and I'm speaking to somebody here when I say this, because you want to get serious, 444. Because you want to commit and dedicate. I'm getting that you're just flowing in the rhythm of it all. You're not even forcing yourself to do anything that you don't want to do, or even have to try a little harder, because it isn't something that you have to try at all. This is you just simply being yourself, Divine Masculine. And I feel like this is the part where it's going to hurt, because for our Divine Masculines, it feels like you have had to keep your guard up. You've had to keep your guard up. And you've had to stay so focused, Divine Masculine, I'm speaking to you. Okay, I'm getting into this energy right now. This is like fire. 5, 5, 5. Fire. Mashallah. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Okay. Woo! There's a rush of like channeled energy coming through, and I'm all for it. This whole week, I've been just sitting with myself and really tapping in. Yeah, it literally is a feeling of like sitting in the deepest of my subconscious, and then having that pause and really having to understand that for myself, and really getting to know your mind for yourself, Divine Masculine. Okay, number 7 is a lucky number for this week. Somebody also have been seeing 7, 7, 7, 7, 0, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 11. Okay. I think for our Divine Masculine, is as I'm following the rhythm of this energy, I think for our masculines, what you've been experiencing is a heavy initiation and heavy release energetically, resetting yourself, resetting your spiritual vitality, masculines. And for us, collective, okay, this is also a reactivation on our throat chakra. It's like we've been holding ourselves back a little bit for safety, exactly, for protection. And it's okay. This is setting us to be very slow in our motion. And there's so much in the little motions that gives us a lot of value, quality, and like really heavy quality. For our Divine Masculines, you're gaining this. Ooh. You're gaining a lot of quality and value. And even in your decision making, Divine Masculine, you know, when you used to succumb to that specific habit that you always come back to, that you tell yourself, how do I, or it's even gotten to a point where you didn't even know that you were getting into this habit and you just kept going back to this habit. And this is something you've been working on. For some Divine Masculines, I'm speaking to somebody here, for some, this is a very dark habit that you tell yourself to be easy with yourself. For some, I'm getting for our Divine Masculine, you see, I'm just going to call this reading Divine Masculine, because I feel like the divine feminines are in this, you know what I mean? Because it takes two. The divine and masculine, divine masculine and divine feminines coming together, you have unity. You have harmony. You're not 10-10 when I said that. You're not coming together in destruction and confusion. You know, you both are now standing on the same ground, same energy field, like two energy fields combined. You guys are creating wonders, co-creating even for our divine masculines and divine feminines. You're co-creating. This is significant. This is essential. It's a great influence. It's even a greater energy is what I'm getting here. Okay. When a divine masculine and divine feminine come together, it is an influence to the world. Because it's a huge energy that you're working with. Both of you guys working together. Mommy and daddy, right? 11:33. I'm heavily picking up on a divine masculine here who never thought about, you never thought about having kids, you never thought about getting married, like marriage was not on your mind. And at one point it might have been, but that was probably something that you're like, I'm probably not gonna really commit to that, 11:55. But just recently, you have been working on something here on yourself, and you having to work on yourself and taking heed on your self-care is actually taking you towards, somebody very approachable. You could be very shy at this point, divine masculine, because you didn't actually think that this divine feminine would be what you think, what you thought. It's even better. Because you see, divine masculine, you have been in a reset. A heavy reset. Like in your decision making, and in that decision making, that takes you back to partnership, relationship. If you are one also willing to have a relationship right now, I feel like I'm speaking to a divine masculine here where you're going like, I really do. You know, I want to get into that energy. I want to get into that vibe. I want to vibe out with somebody. And this is something that you're also like very guarded about, divine masculine, because you are very careful with your energy. Because lately, divine masculine, and hear me when I say, like, you've been enjoying yourself, and I'm even speaking, I'm just following the rhythm here. You're even like enjoying being single, you know? Yes, self-care, and a lot of self-care. You're having a great time being single, but only because you're not going to be single for like 14. Like, you're not going to be single anytime soon for like not even a long time. You have been single and enjoying you being single, but that is not going to last, okay? Because you're not going to be single anymore. Like, you're taking a lot of self-care right now, and that's a great thing to do, divine masculine. Because you're getting yourself ready for somebody, 444. Like you, I feel like, yes, you are eyeing somebody here, divine masculine. Absolutely. And you're even like, I think that I was reactivated by this divine feminine, and because I've never like actually experienced this before. 1515, 131, number 13. This is a new energy. This is a new vibe for me. The Hierophant. And for you, Divine Masculine, it's like, it's not even about just like what she looks like, you know, like her features. It's not even about, and even though, okay, I'm speaking to the Divine Masculine here, 555, when I say this, like, you're looking at this Divine Feminine and you're just like, damn, that one's mine, you know, like, that one is mine. Do you see the white, I want to say feathers, this white feather? It's like you see this Divine Masculine, excuse me, Divine Feminine as like somebody so pure and like, I just heard level-headed. And it's not even about her features, it's about what she carries and how you see her, Divine Masculine. That's beautiful. You know, because when you see your Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, this is exactly what you see. And then together you're like, yeah, they're perfect. They're perfect for me. That's exactly what you say. They're perfect for me. You're perfect for me. That's exactly what you say. 9 of Cups, like you belong together. We belong together. 1717. Who was to my go lean on when times get rough? Who was to my go? It's a very long distance type of connection and friendship as well as what I'm picking up here. Okay. It's a memory. It's a great memory of somebody. This could be like a past life connection for our Divine Feminine, Divine Masculines, excuse me. What is going on with our Divine Feminines? As we move through this cycle of like transforming, right? A lot of us are in our cave right now and making way, gaining resources and making way. This is, excuse me, I'm following the rhythm here, our collective school. And I think a big part of that also is resetting how it is in the dating scene. You know, really getting aligned with our purpose and getting aligned with the Lord. You know, that type of energy, that type of relationship. No, like for real. Having God in the center of both of you is what He would mostly, what the Lord would mostly want for both of you. But you can't have a Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine coming together in destruction and bringing unclean spirits to each other's energy fields. That's just not how it works. Like really getting to the root of like the value and the depth of that friendship and that connection. We have the 9 of Cups and the 4 of Swords. Like really falling into each other and understanding the depths of one another. Delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. And just like what I was saying in the beginning of this reading, divine masculine, that's exactly what you've been doing. In deep revelation and deep healing when it comes to you approaching somebody or you starting a relationship and then leading up to a committal relationship, marriage. But isn't that something that you have been asking for? Okay, I'm speaking to a masculine here when I say that. Finding rest in each other and falling like in each other's space. You know, like that sense of healing space. Your safe space. Isn't that what we yearn for? Somebody to settle in with and to have that comfortability with? 9 of Cups, 4 of Swords. It's that I fall into you and it's like an instant rest. You know what I mean? But not just that, but like we both look good together. Like, what's your problem? Why don't you want this? You know, I mean, like, it comes with a lot of pressure, of course, because there's so many people that's wanting both of you, like maybe even like in competition with you guys. They just won't let you both come together. For masculines or feminine, divine feminines, you know, we're just like, yeah, we're tired. We are so tired, but like, we're enjoying ourselves, single. And I think for some of you, 22, I'm getting like for you feminines, for our feminines, we're just like, you know, like we're just riding the waves now. We already know what's gonna happen. So we might as well like play along. And then you might just miss an opportunity. No, you're not gonna miss an opportunity, I take that back. You're not gonna miss an opportunity because you already know. You already know, divine feminine. You're not gonna miss an opportunity because you already know. You've already won it. 6 of Wands. And you're just enjoying, like, whether I am speaking to a feminine who is single or not, I think you're enjoying yourself regardless, because you're finding out so much like good in all of it anyway. Page of Coins, because you're just that smart, feminine. You're just like that smart. Yeah. And at this point, divine feminines, like there's so many who's like been wanting to be in your space. You're an Empress. This is an Empress energy. Very nurturing. Right? And then you got mixed in with your type of vibe, your type of style. And even carrying that mission and that purpose around with you. Like, it gives you a different type of swag. And your divine feminine energy is like, yeah, it's flourishing really when you think about it. In this season also, like, you could be in hiding a little bit for divine feminines. Okay, celibacy is something that it is of significance here. And I'm tapping into this energy like in and out, so just bear with me, collective. And thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful for all of you guys, okay? The support and the love that you show To all of the comments, I do read them, and I know that I have not replied, or if I didn't, I'm reading it. Okay. There's a level of certainty here for a divine masculine because you have your eye on somebody here. Empress, bottom of the deck. And this is coming out very heavily. Because it's like this divine masculine is like watching this divine feminine, and they're just so in awe every step of the way is what I'm getting here. This is such a beautiful energy because it's also very like calm and peaceful. I'm not rushing anything. There's something about the in-betweens also that is very significant to a divine masculine, because in that there are lessons to be learned, and it's something that you have been sitting with, along with the Four of Swords. You're not rushing this. I think, divine masculine, I think that there might have been a time where you were like, this is kind of irritating. Because you were not getting what you want. And you weren't supposed to get what you want yet. Because there's a lesson to that, you see. And so, because you went through that lesson, and because that lesson showed you, like, now you know, and now there's like a level of certainty in your decision making. What needed to be healed was for you to have a clear conscience and making a huge decision here, okay? This might have been something that you had to really let go, like in willingness to let go of something here. That's what you needed to do to understand why you're having to go through this healing. I'm speaking to a divine masculine when I say this. You needed to heal this to really find out what it is that you wanted, like when it came to partnership. And even like getting to know who you are with somebody, divine masculine, but it's like it's not even a problem because you already know who. Divine masculine, you already know who. You don't even need to like force it because it's like you already know. For some of you divine masculines, you have had in this time of deep subconscious healing, one of the things for our divine masculines, really understanding our feminines. And I think also for some masculines, it's like understanding deeply your feminine, and then also finding rest in that at the same time. Does that make sense? Like you having to like, just as much as the feminine is in understanding of where you are and where you have been with your healing, masculine, you're looking at the feminine and you are also finding rest and understanding where they're coming from and where they are in their journey. Because to you masculines, it's been a really tough realization. Something about a very tough realization about the feminine, your feminine. And this is teaching you how to have empathy. Maybe even growing more in empathy. You've had and have always carried empathy with you, but even more so in getting to know your feminine. Does that make sense? I feel like that's a heavy, very important message. You didn't just carry this with you before you even got to know this feminine, but because after you exchange energy with your feminine, you are now realizing how much of an empath you have become. That's interesting. It could also mean, and I love this, Divine Masculine, that the feminine is teaching you to trust her more. To trust her more. She may be taking steps, and this is interesting. She could be taking steps and like little by little showing you that she trusts you, but she also want to be able to trust you, and teaching you how to be trustworthy. Vice versa. I hope I'm making sense when I say this. And okay, Divine Masculines, I'm speaking to you. Okay, I'm following the rhythm here. There are some things that you need to detach from, whatever that is, in order for this divine union to come clear and clean, coming together. Emerging. Whatever it is that you need to detach from, masculine, do it now. 44. Ooh. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. You noticed how I said now, like very demanding? Masculine, this is something to really believe in. This is something to, I mean, I can't tell you what to do. You're not gonna listen to me anyway, because like this isn't something that one has to force themselves to have. This is just simply you being you and following your steps at the same time. The feminine following their steps. You know what I mean? This is a union that is organically supposed to happen. It's not something that one is forcing. One is like, and I just heard come close, like this is really close, okay? And it's beautiful because it's something that one has also been very careful in the process, like really paying attention. That's what it is. 33, 33. Really paying attention in the process for our Divine Masculines. This week could be very significant for some of you Divine Masculines, and I'm speaking to somebody here when I say this, okay? This could have been a very, very significant week for you. Something came up. This is where all of that like revelation that I'm speaking about for our masculines, moments of revelation this week has been very significant, and you've been having a lot of that. Heavy on that, okay? I feel like for our for our feminines, you've been picking up a lot on our Divine Masculine's energy through and through, like throughout this week. Okay, I have the 10 of Swords. And we Divine Feminines have been feeling you guys, masculine, heavily. And it's almost like a moment of like, you can't control yourself because I'm about to cry right now. And I'm just gonna sit with it and really empathize, right? Like really, really empathize. This could be like somebody I'm speaking to. You know, you're having a moment and then all of a sudden you have to drop everything because you feel like you need to cry. Like the divine masculine came up for you. And I feel like this is a time when our feminines get, you know, when they get home and we unwind and it's quiet time. It's quiet hour. And that little tiny nudge, that little tiny voice, because you're always reminded of the divine masculine, feminines. Feminines, you know what I mean? You're always, you are always reminded of the masculine's energy. And I feel like this week that's heavy because there's been a lot of reactivation. Okay, we've been in this global reset energetically. We've been rebooting is what I'm getting. Okay, we were like in the middle of rebooting. Okay, recalibrating. And here we are finding ourselves at the end of the week. Okay, and divine masculine is on your mind. Divine feminine is on your mind. Okay, and this is what like past life, your ex or a friend or an old friend, right? But like growing into something of that nature as well. I am so excited for you, whoever I'm speaking to. And I hope that this finds you at the right time because I am so excited for you because I feel that you taking heed on your self-care and prioritizing that and have been prioritizing that, okay? We have the Hermit and we have Justice. Like, all I have to say is good job, masculine. Good job, divine masculines. Like, I also want to say, like, for our divine feminines, they're always going to be there in support of you in your healing journey. And I also have to mention that for our divine masculines, like, it wouldn't hurt also to, you know, express yourself to your divine feminine. Like, don't be afraid to express yourself to your divine feminine because they want to hear whatever, confirmation. They want to hear, they want to know. Because they care. And in this time of separation, of you both healing whatever it is that you need healing from, acknowledging your feminine from a distance, acknowledging your feminine, okay, apart from a distance. Like, yes, it's important. Who says that you couldn't do that? Precious time is what I'm getting here for our feminines. Precious time, because this is a very precious time and vital time for our masculines of resetting. It's amazing. It is a very abundant energy. And we want to stay in that, you guys. That's what we want to continue on, you know. I've been getting the energy, excuse me, I've been picking up on this vibe. Okay. It's been a quiet week for me. It's been a very quiet week. And the message, one of the messages that I got was believe. believe. And just keep believing. Okay. Like, it's tough enough to when you know and you set your vision there, like you just know, it would not hurt to keep that in mind, to set your intention. Like, you know in your heart, you know to the very, like, your core, you're very sure of this. And you keep that vision in your mind, and you keep it still in your mind right there. Yes, believe. And know that it can happen. Believe, and it will. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess. For he who promised is faithful. You see, it's the hope. It is the hope. It is the hope, and you believing it more, that magnetizes the energy around you and the divine masculine, and around you and the divine feminine. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next. I am available for readings at this time. Email me. All my information will be down in the description box. Thank you guys for your support always. Thank you for showing love and support on this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next. Peace and blessings. I'll see you later.